Wake up. It's time to rise and grind. I start my day by headbutting the wall just to stay sharp. Breakfast, nails, battery acid. Okay. Okay, I'm not that tough, all right? Holy crap. When it comes to being tough, I'm somewhere in the middle of the road between the Salty Spittoon and the Weenie Hut Jr. This mental fortress that I got was forged in the fires of youth wrestling. And I'm not talking about the wrestling itself. That was chill. It was everything else. You know, I wouldn't call it illegal, but our coaches walked a very thin line. I remember every night being like, "Dad, I don't want to go tonight." And he'd be like, "Son, stop complaining. It's only practice." Meanwhile, practice would be something diabolical. "All right, guys, tonight we're gonna blindfold you, and we're gonna let in a stray dog from outside to attack you while you wrestle." What? Okay, the dog thing did not actually happen, but they did blindfold us and make us wrestle each other. I'm sure that was a sight to behold. Sometimes, as a part of our training, they'd line us up against the wall for 2-minute wall sits. And if one person dropped, the timer would reset. Seems fair, right? Well, I actually forgot to mention one key detail. Our coach was walking back and forth across our legs. Ah, yes, thank you for this experience, coach. I'm learning so much about the sport of wrestling right now. As he would walk, he would randomly jump on a few kids. Some poor kid would fall, and the timer would just be reset, and we'd go again. We'd all be screaming at each other, "Brace for impact!" as if we were fighting for our lives in the trenches. Some days, practice was a game of survival. The wrestling room was regulated by a thermostat that would check the temp and regulate it accordingly. Knowing this, our coaches did this really funny thing where they would duct tape an ice pack to the thermostat, essentially gaslighting the thermostat into thinking, "Damn, this room is cold. I better, blast the heat as much as possible." And so, as time progressed, the room would get hotter and hotter until eventually we would start to see mirages. Water. Do I see water? Did I just catch you trying to take a break? Bang! On top of the room being the same temp as the deepest circle of hell, they also hated it when we would get drinks of water. Yes, water, the basic human necessity. They hated it to the point where some days they would just duct tape the spigot shut. I'd come out of practice looking like SpongeBob in Sandy's dome. My dad would ask, "Oi, how was it?" And meanwhile, I'd be licking the ice off the ground like a wounded animal. We need water, guys. What the hell? Now, you're probably wondering, man, with how nightmarish this practice is, it was probably hard to keep kids motivated, right? No, our coaches had thought of everything. Now, let me introduce you to a genius invention, a true innovation in the department of motivation. The electric fly swatter. Woo, yeah! Woo-hoo-hoo, yeah! You know, if you watched my tear gas video, you know I have a massive fear of tasers. I think it might have started here. I will say, I never got hit with it. I worked my butt off to try to avoid that torture device. There was this one kid though, and poor guy, he just didn't have it in him most days. Get going, move, go, move! Other than the amazing fly swatter trick, they also put a rule in place where you couldn't say the word can't. You know, in theory, that is a good idea. A little motivating, right? Like, hey, you can do anything you put your mind to. But no, actually, you can't. Especially when your coaches are jumping on you while you're doing wall sits. Someone would inevitably say, "Oh, I can't." And the whole room would go silent like someone died. Well, I just heard someone say it. 50 burpees, everyone. 50 burpees? The amount of burpees that they had us do was so insane that it entered us into something known as the burpee paradox, where we would be doing burpees for saying we couldn't do burpees for saying we couldn't do burpees. My mind is mush now. Now, surprisingly, one of my worst memories from practice was not the result of my evil coaches. So at practice, there was this one kid I had to wrestle, and no offense to him, he was buns. Every day he would walk into practice like Mike Tyson to the Jake Paul fight. He obviously did not want to be there. So day after day I would wrestle this kid and he would just roll over, give up, purposefully try to pin himself. So one day his dad was like, "Son, get off the mat. I'll show you how a real man wrestles." I was like, huh? bang, and he blast doubles me. And he started whooping me. He's like, eat this crossface, you little worm. Like Conquest to Invincible. He was in my ear. I'm so lonely. I was like, Coach, help. Okay, the Conquest part did not happen. Sorry. I don't think that guy was allowed into practices anymore. Now, I need to end this little rant with probably the craziest thing I've said in the whole video. I actually kind of liked my coaches. Were they a bit cruel? Yes. Would I ever do it again? Hell no. But they taught me lessons that I'll hold with me my whole life. Did I just catch you being a fucking cornball? Falco punch!